Hello. I got a new knife today in the mail. It's probably a little past my bedtime, but let's take a quick look. I was thinking about filming it earlier, but it was so brand new. Needed to make a bit of a connection. And I just did. I picked up this little spoon here. Look how shiny that is. That cut. This has to be one of the best factory edges. That's cute. Yeah, I have ever experienced. And something I didn't do yet, but I'm confident this will. I'm pretty confident. My kind of knife. Cheburkov, a Russian maker. Ironwood. Hidden tang construction. It's called the Finnish or the Finlander or something like that. So kind of in between a Puukko and a Leuku, really, I guess. I'll throw my Leuku down for size comparison here. Let's just test. I've been working on the edge on this as well. Oops. Yeah, that's pretty good, but it's kind of, feels normal after the other one. That's a pretty good curl. I doubt it. I didn't stroke. Oh, whoa! What do you know? Kind of catching. Anyway, back to the point. Let's do a little whittling. Let's just see this blade in action. Where do I want to cut? The realization of this knife struck me as close to perfection. And perhaps it really is. I noticed one thing. In classic Finnish style, dare I say, the handle and blade are not in the best of alignment. Yeah. Now, this is a tricky thing to do. Trickier than if you have a full tang knife and it's not warped. You know, to get everything lined up. And practically it's not going to really do much. And maybe, I don't know, I've wondered in the past, well, maybe they do that deliberately for the right-hander. Because I could say that I have other kind of Scandi knives that do the same kind of thing. But it's more probable that it's just the right-handed makers, and that's how they come out. Which is not so good maybe if you're a left-hander, but maybe it's fine. I guess you just get used to whatever, right? This is ironwood handle. The blade is S90V. I did some reading up on the S90V. So that came out before the S30. And the S30 was really made to be a specific knife blade steel, apparently. I don't know if I'd heard that before. Probably. In one ear, out the other. Yeah, so they made S90 and people said it was difficult to sharpen, right? And so the S30 doesn't have as good edge retention, but it is tougher and easier to sharpen, allegedly. So it's a high-end blade steel, considered higher end, I think, really in effect than S30. More esoteric, you know. Anyway, I like a challenge, so if it's hard to sharpen, you know, that doesn't mean it's impossible. And I'm feeling like there were some gains. I'm feeling like if Mr. Cheburkov wanted this knife to be an S30, he would have made it an S30. But he picked S90. That's what I think. So I gather that traditionally Finnish knives wouldn't necessarily have had a Scandi grind, and in fact it would be very unlikely. Nobody really did Scandi grinds back in the day. So that isn't what makes for a Finnish knife, such as a leukku or a puukko. What that's really got to have is an enclosed handle. You know, a solid handle or a enclosed tang, let me say. Like on this. So your hand doesn't get cold. And this pommel, I think, is you know, more even perhaps than the beautiful blade. This handle with this pommel is what got me sold on the knife. I just knew this would feel good in my hand, and be good and useful. You know, let's say if I take this out in the belt and I want to do some leukku style chopping, this one works best with a 3-finger, like that. 2 not so comfy now with that bit there. But this here, even 2-finger, even a 1-finger, You got a good solid grip, even though it's slight and delicate, but man, that is just fantastic. So perhaps I'll have to take this out and try and do something outside with it, out in the snow. See whether the steel gets chippy. If I go and whack a hemlock with it in the cold. But for now, just a bit of this whittling here. Yeah, most knives that I get new, I feel like from the outset, once I try cutting with them, I feel like I could improve on the experience, you know. I want to start sharpening it up. But this is something I think where it's like, well, I should get the calipers out and take the measurements. You know, what's the behind the edge thickness? See whether I can figure out what this angle is here. Times like this make you want a microscope. But that is polished, huh? Oh, by golly, that's sharp. Sharp and controllable. Well, so you know, if anyone was thinking about getting a high-end Russian knife, or something, or if anyone cares for any other reason, this knife is very good by my lights. So far, I mean, you know, early days. Nice crowning on that spine. Actually feels quite sharp here. You know, sharp like a 90-degree spine. And yet this is crowned here. So if I put my thumb on it here and push down, wow, can kind of feel the crowning, feel the comfort. But yeah, that scrapes and wow, blow me down with a feather. Amazing. More to come, good Lord willing. Thanks for watching.